Welcome to the OC Pod. I am Holly McDonald, and I'm your Coastal Orange County Realtor and Community Connector. And each week I highlight some of the businesses, activities, and the lifestyle that makes our area a great place to live. Today I have Cece Knowles with me. Cece, thank you for being here.
Nice to be here. Nice to meet you.
Well, you have a very unique business that I am so excited to talk a little bit about. So your business is called Attic to Art. Let's tell everybody what that is.
I repurpose children's art that parents have collected over the years and turn it into large-scale, abstract, brightly colored collages.
Oh, you mean something like this?
Something like that.
That is such a brilliant idea because I can tell you as a parent with young kids, they're always bringing home stuff. And, you're like, what do I do with all of this? And it all seems so precious and you don't want to get rid of it.
Right.
So you end up putting it in boxes, but then you're not looking at it. My mantle is covered with art, but there's only room for so much.
And I made photo books as my kids grew, but even those get, they're on the coffee table for maybe a month and then they're stored away too.
Yeah.
And you were saying your kids are still elementary school age, so you don't really have the boxes yet. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I have a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old, and when my 20-year-old moved out to go to college, it was a question of, okay, what do I do with all this now? Because I'm not going to store all this for her forever. When shown to her, she's like, well, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to college. Hold on to it for me. And from there, I got to talking with a friend of mine from college. We were both commiserating about our kids leaving and trying to find some space, physical space in our garages and mental space. Like, what are we going to do now that our kids are leaving us? And I guess to a certain degree, some emotional space too. So she helped me come up with this idea that we could take their artwork and turn it into something that could be celebrated and bring back a little bit of that youthful joy to our everyday lives.
I love that sentimental tie-in. So I have to know about your artistic background. This is a great idea. Did you have a connection to art before that?
I did.
Okay.
I have always been an artist. I grew up in an artistic household. My mom was a professional artist growing up. She still is always dabbling and working in things now, but she was a ceramicist for years. And then the two of us had a jewelry business. We had a stationery business. We both paint. Obviously, I like to collage, mosaic. I graduated from UCSB with just a general degree and then went on to get my my teaching credential and taught fourth grade for 7 years in Corona Del Mar. And that was a great way to be artistic with my students. And I taught after school art classes. And then when I retired and had kids of my own, I got back to my own art and had been dabbling in it ever since. And I've had quite a few businesses that have had their brief moments. This is the first one that is really sticking, and I'm excited about it.
See, I've learned more about you in 3 minutes than I did from, any of the research I had done, because I love seeing the way that you literally merged your school teacher background with the artwork and then your own art passion to create something that would also then help others. Yeah, it's full circle. That's beautiful.
It really is, especially clients that come to me from the Newport Mesa district.
Yeah.
I recognize a lot of the art because they're still using art master's programs. And so I recognize the Van Goghs that they're doing and the water lilies. And so it is fun. It's art that I worked on with my students 30 years ago and then saw my kids bring home. And now I'm putting to canvas for parents to enjoy.
Yeah, that's nice. And so you probably have all sorts of ideas how to craft your collages with some of that artwork.
I do. I've dabbled with some 3D features. That's interesting when they give me things that are a little more in depth than just paper or canvas.
Yeah.
It's fun. There's a lot to explore with. So the final process of the collage is an epoxy resin. So that allows me to seal in all sorts of materials.
And that's good. So it also helps it to be preserved.
It does archive the art and preserves it and keeps it safe. Some of the art that I get from parents, especially when it's got beans and pasta and things stuck to it, it's falling apart. It's literally degrading. So this is a good way to keep it intact for hopefully many more years.
Yeah, I know. I did read something about one of your clients who created a large piece, and then they wanted it to essentially be a family heirloom.
Yes. So, client of mine, Georgianne, she had 2 large collages made for each of her adult daughters, and they both live out of the state now. And she hung them up last year before Easter in their bedrooms. So when they came home for Easter, they were surprised.
So
and they hadn't seen any of the art since they were little. And the thought is maybe someday, if they get married, if they have a family of their own, these pieces could hang in a child's bedroom and
Yeah.
grandchild's bedroom.
That's really sweet. It's almost like a quilt, but
Yeah.
but different. Yeah. I love that. That's such a great idea. And I think in our area too, a lot of people do value art as a possession, but this has, how do you quantify the value of something that is, your child's version of Van Gogh?
When they drop off all their kids' artwork, they're often asking it, okay, now do you need a deposit from me? Do I need to pay you up front? I'm like, I've got your treasure. I don't need anything from you. I know you're coming back. I know you're good for it. Yeah, I am very grateful to my clients that they trust me with these treasures. I mean, they literally have collected these pieces for 20, 30 years, and then they're handing them over to a stranger, hopefully a new friend, and there's a little bit of pressure there. I need to get it right. And on that note, work with the client. So when they come to me, the parent, a lot of times they've earmarked special pieces. I want this one to be front and center. This one means this to me. And we have a conversation about it.
Okay.
And then as I piece the work together, I send photographs back and forth. And how do you like it? What do you want moved? What do you want brought to the forefront? I was working with a gal today. There was a predominant train and there was a bicycle down in the corner. She said, he was bikes.
Yeah.
Can you move? Can you switch those? And little things like that. Or, I'm seeing so much blue in the upper left-hand corner. Can you shift that so there's more blue throughout? And so it's a nice collaborative process.
Yeah, it's almost like being an interior designer in a way.
I do that too.
Oh, there you go. Another thing I learned about you. So I can see the crossover between that, because you do have to take into consideration their wishes, because they're the one that's going to be living with it or treasuring it. And also you have to have a design eye.
Right. And spatial, being able to lay something out spatially so that it's attractive, it makes sense, there's flow, the colors work, all that comes into play. And I love puzzles. This is like a big puzzle. Because what I do, once I have the art, I go through it all. I touch a lot of it up with watercolors, acrylics, add a lot to it, especially if it comes to me just on photocopy paper or even lined notebook paper. It needs to be enhanced a little bit. And then I cut it all up. So it literally is like puzzle pieces and getting it all together. And so that it tells a story or sometimes tells a joke. They're funny,
I was thinking too about what you said before about that pressure you must feel. You're literally holding something that cannot be recreated from that moment in time. That's it.
And I have had some clients want to work from photocopies, and we can do that. It loses a little something because it loses the texture dynamic of all the different mediums that are in the collage.
Sure.
But, if you're worried about losing them, I get it.
No, that makes sense. And it's good that you are open to working with people, kind of meeting them where they're at.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really nice.
And most of my clients are from Southern California, but as my Instagram footprint is growing, I have a client sending me a box from Hawaii right now with art from his 4 children that I'll be working on. So that's a little nerve-wracking too, when every day I'm looking at the mail, I'm like, okay, when's it gonna get here? Because
tracking it.
Yeah. Again, that's treasure.
Absolutely. I love that. So as far as once the parents contact you and you said it's a collaborative process, do they just bring you a box of everything, or do they kind of weed it out? Or okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I get a box with everything. I've got the clay pots, everything, the headdresses from, when they did Pilgrims and Indians, you name it. And then other times it will come really sorted through, Post-its on the important pieces, but both is good. And the more is the better. So I'm always telling parents, give me more than you think I can use. And I return what I don't use.
Yeah. Oh man, you have to be very organized. I always think that it's interesting too to have that artistic side, but then also the very organized side. That's two different parts of the brain working. That's really great. So as far as looking at this piece here, so it's done in the resin coating.
Yes.
And you do this all in your own home studio?
I do it in our living room. Much to my husband's chagrin, I do it in our living room. I'm watching the morning news. I've got both dogs there with me. I love it. I've considered getting studio space a few times, but I really love being home. And I do the final really messy project process, the resin in the garage. So the garage is kind of a mess, but that's what they're for.
Oh yeah, that's what it's for. I love that. So what do you enjoy about working from home? I mean, do you feel very inspired there? Is that a good space for you?
I do. And I love having the dogs around me. I still have one child at home. My son gets home. He's a senior in high school. He gets home and we chat about his day. I like that I can start and stop. I can do a load of laundry. I can make phone calls, whatever I need to do. And it is pretty easy to clean up. So for the most part, I put most of it away daily, sometimes weekly, depending on how busy I am.
Well, I mean, coming from it from a real estate perspective, I love when people feel inspired and happy in their home. And then you're using your home to make other people's home beautiful and full of memories and everything. Now, do you have one for each of your children?
I do. So this one is a combination of my kids. So I have one for my daughter Olivia and one for my son Kalen. And then this is the one I travel with. That is both of their work put together. I've entered this into juried art festivals. Recently won the People's Choice Award at the Newport Beach art exhibit.
Okay.
That was a couple months ago.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. I love it. I'm like, I can't turn away from it. I see like the little choo-choo train and the footprints and the dog faces and the self-portraits.
Oh, yeah.
So sweet.
And I'll have the Newport Beach Art Festival, Art in the Park, is not this Saturday. It's the 20th at the Civic Center in Newport Beach. And I'll have this there for people to see, to get an idea of what I can do. And we'll be taking orders for them at that event.
Oh, amazing.
And that's a great event. It's from 10 to 5. There's music, food, lots of artists and vendors. So it's a great event to come.
Oh, and the weather is perfect this time of year for that type of
September 20th, it should be beautiful.
When someone contacts you to do this, what is the turn time typically on finishing it?
It was 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
I've become a lot more busy, which makes me really happy. So right now I am looking closer to Christmas.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
No, but it's art.
But I am getting really busy.
No, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I also want to touch upon what you said at the beginning, where there's a connection for a lot of people that are kind of becoming more empty nesters and they're going through this emotional process. This is like a big pivot point for a lot of people in their life. And to do this, does it bring up a lot of emotion?
Well, my daughter's local. She's at USC, so she's not too far. And my son's still home. But yes, it does. You know, it reminds you of the baby times and their little handprints or footprints are on there. But this is bringing me a lot of joy because it's giving me a second act. Something to do that's mine. I'm still parenting them, but I'm not needed as much. So it's nice to get back into the workforce to a certain degree. I'm not teaching anymore, but it's a good connection.
Well, and what you're doing too is, I mean, you're building a business too. And how incredible. I mean, that is a baby in itself, you know? So I love that for you. And then I also feel like you probably have to have your type of personality because you're very sweet and understanding. You've been a teacher. I mean, to work with parents that are sentimental about this type of thing. Not every parent's going to get sentimental about this, but some it's probably really, startling for.
Definitely. Yeah. So it's a process. It's a process for me to put them together. It's a process for the parent to let go of the bin that's in their garage, to see it turned into something else. That's hard for some people because it's change, but it's change positive.
Yeah.
and fun and colorful. And I should collect the emails and the texts I get from clients that say how happy they are and how happy their kids are and how surprised they are. Because when they said to their kids, what do you want to do with your stuff? And the adult kids are like, I don't care, toss it.
Yeah.
And then when they see the finished collage, so they're like, oh, I love this. I want this. So I have parents now who the new trend is I make one for each of their kids and then I make one for the parent to keep. So if there's enough artwork, that's what I've been doing. And it makes sense.
Package deal. I like that. You're making me
bonus collage.
You're making me regret how when my mom offered to send me the stuff from the garage, I was like, toss it.
My mom never saved anything. And she sees me working on this now. She goes, I feel so bad. I'm like, that's okay.
It's okay. Because at the time, it is what it is. But moving forward, what a great treasure for you to have for your own kids and for yourself and for all of the families that you're helping.
And hopefully this is a sustainable business. I mean, kids aren't stopping making artwork.
No.
Hopefully. And parents aren't going to stop collecting. So there will be new generations of little artists for me to work with.
Oh, I think it's absolutely a wonderful trend. And it's something that people will treasure forever. And it also, again, they can reclaim their garage space. They can get rid of the boxes and then decorate. Well, you're bringing so much happiness and joy. I love it.
Thank you.
So aside from the event on September 20th, where can people find you online and take a look at some more of your artwork and everything?
I'm on Instagram as Addict to Art, and then I have a website, addicttoart.com.
So everybody.
And I'm going to be up. I've got a couple new ventures. I should be in Sunset Magazine pretty soon with a really small piece.
Yeah.
And that's fingers crossed. And then I'm working on a venture with a winemaker in Santa Ynez and putting people's collages on bottles.
That's a great idea.
On cases of wine. So that's something that we're moving forward with too.
How exciting. Oh, that is so cool. I love that. Well, everybody's going to have to go check out your artwork and follow her on Instagram, go to the website, go to the events, order a piece. You might not have it till 2026, but that's okay.
I'm working round the clock, so.
How fun. Well, Cece, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Everybody, if you want to keep watching the podcast or see some more clips, just make sure to give us a follow and we'll see you next time.